Hello my friends, welcome to episode 88 of Furypoint. And I feel like this episode is probably going to be a disappointment for most people who have reached this far. But I am electing not to do this mission on thinking about it. For the simple reason of, well, there are a few reasons, but one is it's against the Concordat, which is a reputation which I can't afford to damage right now. Simply because it's the only faction that doesn't like me. And so the potential is that future missions that are 3 skull or greater, I won't be able to do them, and we are in the space now where Concordat missions will appear quite often. So that's one reason. Basically, potential future contracts could be harmed by this. I still would have attempted it anyway, had all of my my mechs been in good condition, because, you know, it's still worth it for the money. And, you know, it does help to have that extra Federated Suns reputation, because we're going to be drinking deeply of our Federated Suns reputation in the near term, because the 2 flashpoints that we were looking at in the top corner of the map are both with the Federated Suns as the op 4. So my reputation with them is going to be hurt. But obviously the major problem is that 2 of my mechs, which are critical to my strategy, or, you know, are basically my most effective fighters, are just so severely damaged. The Grasshopper has got like 9 HP in one section, which is unacceptably soft, really. And then the Orion has also got a... not this Orion, the other Orion, has also taken some really severe damage. I think one of the mechs has also got a pretty badly damaged arm, if I remember correctly. Anyway, the point is, because it's Iron Man, even for me the risk is too high, and the entire campaign would basically be ended on a failure. Well, no, it wouldn't be ended, but I would take severe losses, because I don't withdraw, generally speaking. I only do good faith withdrawals in very particular circumstances, but I don't do bad faith ones. So, we are going to have to make repairs and get a shift done. Now, in theory, I could make repairs and then get a move on. But I don't know about that. That actually would probably be a waste of days that could be spent traveling, gaining points that way. And also, you know, generating more contracts by going to different planets. So I decided on reflection to not take the risk. Right, so now we need to build our new toy. Go for a very heavy armor loadout here. I actually feel like this mech has probably got a bit too much rear armor and a bit too much leg armor. That's probably a little bit more reasonable. So this mech makes a great brawler due to the volume of short-range firepower you can put into it. So I'm just getting this built quickly. Now the real question is, do I want to conserve heat by fitting machine guns. 200 rounds, 15 shots per volley. Yeah, that's plenty. This is a shield arm design mech, so you're pretty much stacking everything on the one side. I always add the extra medium lasers here. If you lose them, you lose them. It's not the biggest of big deals. An exchanger would actually work very well here. And no, it wouldn't. 84. Not really worth. Need to be generating at least 90 heat for it to be worth it, in my opinion. Okay, I need some SRMs. Once again, it's a shield arm design mech, so you want everything on the one side. We've acquired half a ton here, so we might end up swapping a machine gun for a flamer. There is an opportunity here for this to also be a high mobility platform. Since we have a lot of very light weapons here. I think I should use this half ton to armor up. Or potentially armor down. I don't know, it's going to be a short range brawler, so I don't really want to reduce the rear armor that much. Although I will armor the center a bit more strongly. It's probably wise to actually armor the sections that are critical to the continued contribution of this mech. Okay, 48/84 is still pretty hot. Machine guns aren't generating any heat anyway. Would I be... See, this is one of these things. Would I be better off just mounting small lasers and adding more heat sinks? Because more heat sinks gives me more sustain. Nah, I think this is fine. I think we'll actually just armor up for brawling. Why not? I originally stripped armor, but I actually feel like this is probably fine. Sweet.
I'll let you know when that's done.
I should have given it a name. I have Thunder Disco, I could have had Thunder Brawl. Okay. What a terrifying beast this thing is. Arguably the game's best missile platform. Well, no, the Stalker is the game's best missile platform, but certainly in the heavy category it is. So this armor profile is awful. Armor your Jaeger. Doesn't need huge rear armor because it's not a brawler. The old PPC resistant compartment rule is pretty useful here, or pretty fair. The legs are definitely over-armoured, and you can probably free up a bit of tonnage here. Likewise, the right and left torso are also over-armoured, because remember, if the arm goes, that's it. This mech is done. So it's not really that important to have armor greater than the sum of the left and right arm, plus maybe a little bit for leeway. So that takes us to 25 tons to spend. Now you can actually make a really fantastic brawler out of this mech. How you would do that is pretty simple. You would just be like, 4 of these, plus lasers if you like, plus small lasers if you wish, some ammo, and some heat sinks. Just because missile hardpoints are just really good. There's no way around it. Missile hardpoints are pretty solid. Right, so I have various LRM launchers lying around. So ideally, I have seen this built like this, and then an LRM-5. This is the tonnage efficient one, and then you add two blocks of missiles. The only problem with doing this is the ammunition is spent pretty quickly. I think you get like eight volleys, which a lot of people feel like 8 volleys is. Well, I think it's less than 8 volleys actually. I think it's like 6 or 7 volleys is roughly acceptable. But I don't find that to be very acceptable, because I find that missiles can fire a lot more often than any other kind of weapon. And you'll probably get through all the missiles eventually. Not eventually, probably pretty quickly. So, what I am going to do is I'm going to use some of these LRM-10s that I've had lying around. They have been adjusted so that they are more heat efficient. No, they haven't. The 5 has been adjusted to be less heat efficient, and the 10 is more heat efficient relative to the 5, but it's only 2 heat for 1 ton, so it's not as good as a heat sink. But the LRM-15 continues to be very efficient relative to that. So the 10 is still junk. That is unfortunate. It's a shame that the LRM-10 is junk, because, you know, I have them. I have Lost Tech ones. I mean, this one's +2 stab damage. Okay. At the risk of being inefficient here, we'll include these just because they're Lost Tech. And the extra stab damage will matter. But I wouldn't normally build like this. It's just that it suits what I've got. That makes it too heavy. I haven't actually really got the ammo for it. Because these things are tonnage inefficient, if they were LRM-5s, then they would both save me a ton, and I would have 3 ammo cans. So it's a slightly harder decision than I thought. I think we will add a 5. That seems more reasonable, doesn't it? And then obviously we need missiles. Now, I'm a big fan of jump jets. I use them all the time. It doesn't really make sense for this mech unless I downgrade the 10 to a 5. So you can make a mobile version of this by downgrading this 10 to a 5, which frees up 3 tons. And I believe that the heatsink heavy jump jets are only 1 ton. So you can do this basically. You can put one here, take that out, put in a 5, and you can put another jump jet here, or you can even add an extra ton of ammunition, which will give you a more flexible build. But I actually am out of heavy jump jets, so I haven't got any spares. So I'm going to have to live without them. Now, lastly, obviously, this mech is very, very soft, except the center torso, which is incredibly tough. I'm actually going to put my gyro in this for now. I'll take it back out again when I get some good assaults, but this will just help to try and keep those arms alive. I can't imagine losing the gyro. What would basically happen is if the arms went, I would end up ejecting this mech. And the CT is incredibly tough compared to the rest of it. In fact, honestly, if I wanted to cut tonnage, you could probably cut CT armor pretty readily. It actually does reasonably make sense to cut CT armor. Oh well, whatever, I'm not going to fuss over this forever. Let's hope we just don't get stuck on something.
Shouldn't be too hard.
Okay, repairs first, because repairs are important. Alright, that's all our lab work done. 17 minutes to do the lab work. I'm gonna have to tag this as a boring episode. Right, let's get out of here. I am sad about not being able to do that mission. If it weren't Iron Man, I would have done it. Maybe I would have done it. You know, I'm sort of like 60-40 that I would be able to do that mission first time without taking any damage, but that's the thing about Iron Man, is it makes you play safe. Safe is not necessarily fun, but I'm very, very, very risky player, but that is a risk too far.
Roger that, Commander. Course plotted.
Let's go. I think we did very well on that planet anyway. Let's go. Go, 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 go.
Those upgrades you asked for are online, Commander.
Anything else I want to do now? Time is ticking down. These are very expensive upgrades. I'll leave the arcade for now because I might need to get to morale back, potentially, so that I finish with 50 points. Okay, this takes ages.
All right, I'll get the team on it right away.
Takes 30 days. Let's get it done. This does nothing for me. Sadly. Playing on the hardest difficulty means lethality, so people would just die. No matter what. At least after this, I'm going to have a nice broad selection of heavies to play with. Ka-jonk. Middale. Let's just pause for a second. Ah, stop. Ah, too late. I missed the pause key. I was going to have a look at the shop and contracts. Maybe I should just compress this into... it's like a 20-minute long waste of time. Maybe I should just compress this into an episode. Ooh. I don't really need this. I've only got 12 days worth of repairs to do. Oh well, what the hell. Maybe there's some auxiliary benefits. Okay, so here is the Flashpoint, the long hunt. But since I'm gonna tag this as a boring episode because of the whole waste of time that was the first 20 minutes. So let's get some easy contract done instead. Oh, for crying out loud. Wait a minute, why are these two contracts not even on this planet? So there's only one contract I can do on this planet. What a fantastic waste of time. I don't understand why the other ones have generated... Because you normally get 5 contracts. I don't understand why the other 2 that have generated have decided to generate somewhere else. New Valis, New Valis. Wow, this contract is awful. Where is New Valis? Brockway. Desolate Plains. Oh, what am I doing? There's a label. Ha! There's a Flashpoint there as well. Interesting. Well, that should definitely be my next move. And by accepting a travel contract, of course, we get an extra contract on the generation. Oh well. The sea bills are not even worth taking. Let's get this over. Let's get this over with quickly and move on to the next episode. We'll do the Flashpoint next episode. I just didn't want to start a Flashpoint episode with a 20-minute monologue. I suppose at least the saving grace of all the contracts not being available is this is like a half-skull world. I only came here for the Flashpoint. The thought of doing a load of half-skull missions for peanuts does not appeal to me. So, you know.
interface initiated.
Alright, let's go.
Fraction.
You betcha.
Confirmed.
All right.
I'll be a
I've
striker.
got something.
I don't even know why I'm reserving to, like, play tactically here. This should be a walkover.
Waiting for orders.
Orders? Commander?
Waiting for orders. Up high.
Okay,
Acknowledge.
make him dead. Well, that's not bad loot.
One more for the rubbish bin. Waiting on you, Commander.
The money on offer was only 63,000 C-bills, so the salvage rights were better.
Receiving you. Aye aye.
Could pretty much just take weapons and junk and still
Ready for orders.
get 63,000 C-bills worth of stuff.
Come on, Net Warriors! It's go time! Good to go.
Squish.
Ugh! Bye-bye.
Is that it?
Roger that.
Are we done here?
I'm there. Coordinates received.
We have the asset, Commander.
Oh my god, so boring. Ugh. Maybe I would have made more money on C-bills. Probably not. Well, I'm gonna get all of this anyway. It was just worth it. You get 10% sale value, so 75,000 C-bills. Right, let's do some shopping. Let's do some shopping quickly and get set up for the Flashpoint. This will be a short episode, a short and boring one. That's not worth watching. If I'd have gotten some more contracts or some interesting ones, then I could have done them. Unfortunately, the Flashpoint is on a half skull world, and we somehow managed to avoid actually spawning contracts that I can do, because 1 skull and 1.5 skull are not unreasonable. What's in the shop? Nothing I want or need. The only thing I'm missing from the medium category is the Centurions. I'm also missing the crab, but apparently the crab doesn't count. Flashpoint only mechs don't count. Ooh, +1 damage LRM-15.
New weapon systems available.
I'll have that. Let's get my sales done while we're here. Normally I would have sold all this, but you know, you've got to collect it. I don't really build for autocannons normally. I don't really feel like the AC-10 is that great. And I can't see myself using more than the 2 Lost Tech ones that I've already got. Likewise, if a crab appears, maybe I'll build with AC-20s, but other than that, I can't imagine myself using those either. LRM-10s are sadly junk, although they are worth good cash. This is probably slightly too many LRM-5s as well. Let's trim that bad boy down. Medium lasers are like, they're weapons that I actually get through, like candy. I probably actually have enough. I certainly have enough of these. I'm not a huge fan of the PPC because it's so heavy. Plus I have 2 really quite nice ones, so there's not much incentive to use the basic ones. As good as the SRM-6 is, I do not need 11 of them, 13 of them. 10 will be plenty, just to have some spares. I'm running a few too many heat sinks here, trim down to 30. Okay, surprisingly short on ammo, although I do trim the fat regularly. No one of interest. I'm actually looking for pilots with really high built-in experience, just for the sake of getting the points. So I'm not interested in anyone that I have to bring up. You'd be far better off from an experience point of view of hiring some guy with like 648, something along those lines, 6484 or 6485 or something like that. That kind of level of pilot is what I want to be buying.
Hey, Commander. Pull up a chair.
Right, short, boring one. We will be doing the Flashpoint next episode, and then we'll be leaving this planet post-haste to go somewhere else and find some real challenge. I thought there would be more to do here, but Contract RNGesus was like, nope. So, such is life. And I will see you guys next time.